Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Just waiting for them to go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late. My browser decided that it wasn't going to work. We had to reinstall. Nonsense thing. So, good morning, dear devotees. We're here in Sridham Mayapur. We've been reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Our Guru Maharaj said if you don't do any other sadhana every day, you should hear Srimad Bhagavatam. We're trying to have a short little class because I know everyone is busy with things. This will go for about half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. We're reading from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachings of Lord Kapila Dev, chapter 25. And today we're on text number 22. We spent over a week on text number 21. So if you have the verse in front of you, you can recite with us. Mayanyanyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti yedridam matkrite chakta karmanas chakta swajana bandavaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Such a sadhu engages in staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections, such as family relationships and acquaintances within the world. And Srila Prabhupada describes in his purport, a person in the renounced order order of life, a sannyasi, is also called a sadhu because he renounces everything, his home, his comfort, his friends, his relatives, and his duties to friends and family. He renounces everything for the sake of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A sannyasi is generally in the renounced order of life, but his renunciation will be successful only when his energy is employed in the service of the Lord with great austerity. It is said here, therefore, Bhaktim kurvanti ye dridham. A person who seriously engages in the service of the Lord and is in the renounced order of life is a sadhu. The sadhu is one who has given up all responsibility to society, family, and worldly humanitarianism simply for the service of the Lord. As soon as he takes his birth in the world, the person has so many responsibilities and obligations to the public, to the demigods, to the great sages, to the general living beings, to his parents, to the family forefathers, and to many others. When he gives up all such obligations for the sake of the service of the Supreme Lord, he's not punished for such renunciation of obligation. But if for sense gratification a person renounces all such obligations, he is punished by the law of nature. Oragaganya gana gocha goloruharam goranga gudatama gopyada kopa briksham gopalagada ratidam yati singha gora govinda deshikavaram satatam namam. Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhu, nice to see you. Vaita Chandra and Vana Bihari, I guess that means Jaguar is also there too, maybe, huh? You guys are up past your bedtime. So I find it interesting in this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions amongst the things that someone gives up in the renounced order of life is worldly humanitarianism. That's something we don't often hear about. Generally, in India, sannyasis are respected if they do some humanitarian work. Just like in Jagannath Puri, opposite of our ashram where we were previously, there was one other yoga ashram, and across the street from them, same side as the street of our ashram, they had a health clinic. And many sadhus, they do like that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. We may do that as a service for the Vaishnavas, we may do that as a service in the Dham, we may do that as a preaching kind of thing. But it shouldn't become more prominent than bhakti. So in the previous verse, text number 21, Lord Kapila Dev was speaking to his mother about the external or the tatastha secondary symptoms of a sadhu. And in the next couple of verses, this one and the next, he's speaking about the internal symptoms or the Sarup Lakshana, beginning with this verse here. And he says that Lord Kapila Dev is saying, Maya, Mai Anyanyena Bhavena, that Anyanya means that they have no other object of worship. Even they're not worshiping Lord Brahma, they're not worshiping Shiva. Another meaning, he says, is that the word drida, firmness, is indicating ekadas bhav, or rather sthayi bhav, that one is very fixed in their particular relationship with the Lord, such as dasya, sakya, ras. Only with the Lord is their object. And he says they're the embodiment of Krishna's instruction in the Gita, sarva dharma parityagya. They give up all other dharmas. They give up their relatives and their friends. And Vishwanath quotes a verse from the 9th canto, chapter 4, text 65. Yadharagara putrata pranam vitam imam param hit vamam saranam yataha katam tams chaktum utsahe. Since pure devotees give up their homes, wives, children, relatives, riches, and even their lives simply to serve me without any desire for material improvement in this life or in the next, how can I give up such devotees at any time? So this is the nature of a devotee. Krishna in the Gita, he says that one should be one-pointed. Anyabhilasita vyavasyatmika buddhi eke hakuru nandana bahusakayanantasya guriyo vyavisainam. And in this verse, he's saying a similar thing. Ananyena bhavena. The pure devotee, this is their sarup lakshana, their principal quality, not just that they're tolerant and kind to other people and so many, but there's an internal quality. And the external qualities come from the internal quality. So this verse also is speaking something about the renunciation of devotees and how that renunciation is not something which is cultivated. Rather, real renunciation is a byproduct of bhakti. We spoke about this a week or so ago. In the first canto of the Bhagavatam, it's described Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanayat Yashivaya Ragyam Jnanam Shayara Hoitakam. Jnanayat Yashivaya Ragyam. That just by performing bhakti to the Lord, Jnanayat Yashivaya Ragyam, this vairagya, this renunciation, this gyan, and all these other things come automatically. In fact, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami, he says that actually gyan, the vairagya and gyan are only beneficial really in the beginning. In the first section, the second wave, text 248, 249, he says, Jnana vairagya yo bhaktir pravesyo prayogita isha pratama aviti nanga twamuchitam yayo yadube chitta katinya hetu praya satam mate sukumara sabhavayam bhaktista detaritata. He says that only in the very beginning of the path of bhakti is there some utility of gyan and vairagya. So he said it's not correct to think that gyan and vairagya are angas of pure bhakti. Rather, he says that this gyan and vairagya, they cause the heart to become hard. Whereas bhakti by nature is very tender, and bhakti is the cause of bhakti. Nothing else is the cause of bhakti. So this is the nature of a devotee. They're focused completely on Krishna, on the Lord. According to Drida, according to their particular Ishtadev, the form of the Lord that they have attraction for, and within the particular sthayi bhav, sthayi means fixed, the particular fixed relationship they have with the Lord. There's a nice example of this in Ram Leela. There was one great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. His name was Guha, and he was the king of the Bila tribe, who are also known as the Nishadas. They're a kind of tribal people. And he had a kingdom he was worshiping, and which was near to the Ganga. And so when Lord Ramachandra was exiled to the forest, Guha approached him and said, "My dear Lord, you stay here, you be our ruler, and I'll be your servant." And Lord Ram told him, no, I've been ordered by my father. I can't even enter a city. And so when Guha left him, when Ramachandra left him, Guha became so overwhelmed with separation that tears began to flow from his eyes. And it's described that he cried nonstop day and night until tears stopped coming from his eyes and blood was coming instead. Who can describe his condition? Right? And then Guha just closed his eyes. He said, "Better that I don't see anything in this lifetime, because I was seeing Lord Ram before." And the people were complaining to him, my dear Guha, what are you doing? He said, what else is there to see except for Lord Ramachandra? And so then after Lord Ram killed Ravan, and he was returning to Ayodhya, on the way, he stopped to see Guha. And his friends came to him and said, "Guha, Lord Ram has returned. You should go and see him." And he said, at first he couldn't believe it. Is that true? Am I going to actually see him again? And then Lord Ram came and embraced him in ecstatic love. And Lord Ramachandra told him, "I've returned, so now open your eyes and see me." And then Guha opened his eyes, and he saw the Lord. So this is an example of an anyena bhavena, where someone who has one-pointed devotion for the Lord. So the source of all this one-pointed devotion is Bhakti Devi or Srimati Radharani. And there's a nice song written by the Gaudiya Vaishnava poet Yadunath, who's a medieval poet. And he sung about the renunciation of Srimati Radharani. So listen to this very nice song. Radharani, she's describing. Ganje ganju ka guru, jana tahe nadarai, chadi chadu kanija, pati apadai dai. Srimati Radharani, she says, "Let my Guru Janas chastise me if they want. Chadu kanija pati, let my husband divorce me." Very good. Apadai dai, then my life will be peaceful. If I don't have that. Boli baluka pada da loka tahi nahi dar. Na baluka na da kuka na jabatara ghar. Let my neighbors say bad things about me. I don't care. I'm not afraid. They may speak to me, they may invite me, but I'm doing a lockdown. I'm not going to visit their homes. Dharama karama jaukutahi na darai. Mara brahma pachi. Bandare harai. She said, Dharma karama jak, maybe my religious duties won't be done. I don't care. My only concern is that I don't lose the prāna-nath, the Lord of my heart, Shri Krishna, through the waywardness of my mind. Kalamani kera mala gantini bagali, kanu guna yasha amipariba kundale. She said, I'll make a necklace out of black stones and I'll boldly put it around my neck. Kalamani kera mala gantini bagali. Just like a sadhu keeps a mala around his neck. She says, I'm going to become a sadhu, and the mala that I'm going to keep around my neck is made out of black precious stones. It's very precious because it reminds me of Krishna. And I'm very bold to do this because in this way I'm advertising my attachment for Krishna. And I'll wear some earrings, just like sometimes the sadhus traditionally in India, the sannyasis and others, they have some sandalwood earrings, a certain type of earrings, one big ring. It's a sign of someone who's given some renunciation. What are the earrings that I wear? Kanu guna yasha ami paribi kundali. My kundala, my earrings, will be the glories and qualities of Krishna. In other words, this is my sannyas. Radharani is taking sannyas. My sannyasa means I'm going to keep a mala, just like a sadhu keeps a japa mala, but my japa mala is black, and it's Krishna. And I'm going to have these earrings which are hearing and chanting about Krishna. That's real renunciation. And then she says, Kanu anuraga ranga basana puraya, desi desi bhamariba yogi nahaya, that I'll dress in saffron cloth. And that saffron cloth is my love for Krishna. And in this way, I'll become a yogini sannyasini. And desi desi bharamiva, I'll wander about from place to place. And the author of the song describes, Yadunata dasi kahe ehi mani sada, hoya hoka jagabhari kala parivad. Speaking on behalf of Srimati Radharani, the poet says, this is the desire of my heart. If the whole world speaks scandalously about my relationship with Krishna, then let it be so. So, as Srila Prabhupada was describing in his purport, we were just reading, that when he gives up all such obligations for the service of the Supreme Lord, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was saying in his commentary, wasn't Srila Prabhupada? He says that when such a devotee gives up everything, then they achieve me. I become obliged to such a devotee. In the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya, Lord Nrsingadev, he tells Prahlad, Sada muktopi badhosmi bhaktina snehara jabiya jitopi jitoham tairavasapi asikrita. Although Sada muktopi, although I'm always liberated, badhosmi, I become bound up with the rope of love of my devotees. And I can't escape that. Similarly, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's described, Jahoite apanara parabhava hoy, shehi bhara gopya loke kahare nakoy. That Krishna is conquered by love. But that fact, shehi bhara gopya, it's a great secret. Loke kahare nakai, a secret that the people of this world don't understand. So similarly, in Chaitanya Mangal, in his introduction, Srila Lochan Das Thakur spoke about a great secret. He says, Oneka Rahasya Katha. I'm going to tell you many secrets in this Chaitanya Mangal. Kohibe Tahate Vairagya Adbhuta Prabhu Ute Jinamate. Such as the secrets of the Lord's Adbhuta Vairagya, his astonishing renunciation. So it's astonishing because the Lord has no need to become renounced. Renunciation, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sannyasi cha yogi cha naniragnya na chapriya. That this is sannyas from someone, to sannyasi cha yogi cha naniragnya na chapriya, that they don't do anything. They give up all work. They give up fire sacrifices, naniragnya, things. And they do this for the purpose of purification. What is a necessity for the Lord to purify himself? There's no necessity. So this renunciation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lochan Das Thakur says, this is Vairagya Adbhuta. It's a very, very astonishing kind of renunciation. And he says this is Rahasya Katha, or something very, very confidential to speak about. So this topic of Mahaprabhu's Sannyas Leela is spoken about in a very beautiful way in the book Prema Vilas by Nityananda Das. It's a book which is sometimes quoted both by Srila Prabhupada and by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Nityananda Das was a disciple of Janava Mata, and he was ordered by her to write this book. And in the 7th chapter, he speaks about a conversation which took place in what present-day Bangladesh between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lokanath Goswami. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his inner feelings to Lokanath Goswami. this is the desire of all the devotees. We would like to know the inner desire of Gurudev. We'd like to know the inner desire of the Lord. And he said to him that, who can understand my situation? He says, Saka dasa pitamata je rashi vanchita. Shabi saki gana jani je rashi mohita. That my friends, my servants, my father and mother, they can't understand Rasi Vanchita. They're all cheated. They're all bereft of having this particular milk. Shabi Shaki Ganajani. Jay Rashi Mohita. Only the gopis can understand this milk. And then he tells Lokanath Goswami his purpose in coming. And we know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has both a Bahiranga Karna and external purpose in coming, which is described in the 3rd chapter of the Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Kaviraj Goswami describes the words of Krishna. And there he says that for the purpose of establishing the Yuga Dharma and to distribute Raganuga Bhakti, Raga Marga, that he's come. And this is his external purpose. But he also has an internal purpose. And we should understand this internal purpose, which is being alluded to in this verse of the 3rd canto today, when Lord Kapila says, Ananyena bhavena, one-pointed love. This is the nature, the internal quality of a devotee. So we can't understand that quality unless the Lord himself comes in the mood of a devotee and exhibits that behavior. Our acharyas have said that Krishna says sarva dharmam parityaya, but it's theoretical. And without seeing a practical example of someone who gives up everything and becomes ananyena bhavena, then it's just theoretical and we can't understand it. And so Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Baba Duti Suvali Tam Nomi Krishna Sarupam. He's Krishna Sarup, but he's come in the mood of Radharani, come in the mood of a devotee. And he's come, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, to taste the mood of separation. And therefore we don't worship him as Krishna, we don't address him as Krishna. Then he won't be able to cry. He's come to taste the mood of Radha. Krishna Mahaprabhu tells Lokanath Goswami, Gune Prikti Tangastani Haicha Rini. The word Rini is very significant, it means a debtor. Tomashtani Lokanata Kahilama Ami. That Radharani has so much love for me that I've become a Rini, I've become in her debt. And that debt is one cause of my unhappiness. This is the internal unhappiness, and there's an external unhappiness also. There's one Brahmin who's been criticizing me. And these are Mahaprabhu's 2 reasons for taking sannyas. One is to save these impersonalists. He took sannyasa, they'll give him respect. But there's also an internal reason. And it's indicated in this verse of the 3rd canto, Ananyena bhavena, that the devotee becomes one-pointed, vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Lokanath Goswami, he says that this taking sannyas for this deliverance of the conditioned souls, he says, ebhaya vichar. This is an external consideration. He says, Suna Lokanatha, listen Lokanath. There's only really one necessity I have, one prayojan. Prayojan means my necessity. What is that? Radhikara bhava lana shabha prayojana. This is my only prayojan, my only necessity. Kavi bhuji keva shuni jay muraman. But who can understand or listen to the state of my mind? So this bhav, radhikara bhava, sabha prayojan, this is my only necessity. This is ananyena bhavena, to be one-pointed. Mahaprabhu Krishna wants to understand the renunciation of Srimati Radharani. Our revered spiritual master, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he said that the renunciation of the gopis is not a conscious act. It's not something they decide, well, I'm going to do this and I'll make more spiritual advancement, or even I'll do this and it'll help me come closer to Krishna. Their renunciation is just a byproduct of their complete focus on Krishna. And therefore this verse describes ananyena bhavena, that when one becomes one-pointed on the object of love, then renunciation is a byproduct. And Mahaprabhu tells Lokanath Goswami, Mora Angara Varna Vasana Radha Gai. Srimati Radharani, she wears this Varna Vasana, this color of the rising sun in the morning. And when she's, he says, Mora Angara Varna. You see, he wears this blue-colored garments, the color of my complexion. I'm jumping ahead a little. A lagi nilavastra says, Sukhyati pai, she gets happiness by wearing that. But in separation, amara vichede, vichede means separation. Pare arunavasana, she adopts this arunavasana. Aruna means the color of the rising sun. And apanaki nija dasi mani sarvakshan. Radharani always thinks of herself as my maid servant. This is a renunciation of Srimati Radharani. It's a result of her feelings of separation from Krishna. Some Gaudiya Vaishnavas have said that the color saffron indicates the feelings of separation of Radha. And sometimes it said she was red, sometimes it said she was white in separation. White is the color that a lady wears when her husband is no longer present. And sometimes when Srimati Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna, she's wearing that white color and she's crying and crying, these tears of separation from Krishna. And Radharani's tears at that time, they wash her breasts, which are coated with kumkum. And then the color of that kumkum goes onto the cloth that she's wearing. And that white cloth then becomes saffron-colored cloth. And they say this is the purport of saffron cloth in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It's a result of separation. It indicates the one-pointed focus of Srimati Radharani. And Mahaprabhu explains that focus of Radha. He says, Amara lagiya Radha adi sakigan virahe vyakula hoila tejila jivan amiha tejiba pran tanhara lagiya se dasha hoive tumi sunive takiya. That in the separation from me, as this verse today describes, matkrite chakta karmanas, chakta swajana bandhava, the devotee, because he's ananyena bhavena, he's completely focused, then he naturally gives up everything else. And so Mahaprabhu is telling Lokanath Goswami in the same way, the gopis, Tejila Jivan, they've given up their lives for me. They've given up everything. And so he said, similarly, I have to give up my life. Amiha tejiva pran tanaha lagi. I have to give that up and experience what Srimati Radharani has experienced. He says, therefore, Dariva means to accept. Just like one of Lord Ramachandra's names is Dharani Dhara. Dhara means to carry. He's carrying the Dhara, the bow. Dariva tahara kanti pariva aruna vasa. Therefore, I'm going to accept the kanti, the complexion of Radha, and the aruna vasana, the saffron cloth of separation. In this way, haiba tanhara dasa anandita man. I'll become her maidservant and I'll get happiness. And therefore, in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, sannyas means gopi bhav. And the sannyasi gets, in our line, the sannyasis and the Babajis, they take a gopi mantra and they meditate on themselves as being the servant of Srimati Radharani. This is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sannyas. He says, E lagi aruna vasana dibagai japiba tanhara guna kahilu tomai. I'll wear the saffron cloth of separation, and in this way I'll sing the glorious qualities of Radharani. Japiba tanhara guna kahilu tomai. This is what sannyas means. This is a sannyasa of Srimati Radharani. She wears those black beads around her neck, that black japamala. And she has the earrings of the qualities and pastimes of Sri Krishna. Mahaprabhu tells Lokanath, Tanhara jyoteka guna nari vasurite, satta janma ayu jadi hoya prativite, gune priti tanastane, hayachi rini, tomastani Lokanatha kahilana ami. He said, I can't even describe the wonderful qualities of Radha. Even if I took birth, Satta Janma, 100 times in this world, I couldn't describe all those glories of Radha. She's put me in her debt. I've become a rini. He says, therefore, I have to get the wealth that she has, because that wealth is not with me. How can I get that wealth? Jagat Basaiva Ami Tamna Jasakirti. Tabijani kripa more korina imati. He said, I'll sing her glories. And how will I sing her glories? By doing the kirtan that she's doing. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he tells the devotees, Jadiyama prati sneha take sabhakara tabe Krishna vyatirikta Nagai Veara. He says, if you really love me, then you follow my instructions. Don't chant my name. Don't chant Gauranga Mahaprabhu's name. He didn't come to be worshipped. He's come to be a devotee. He's come to teach us to chant Krishna's name, because he's come to taste the mood of Srimati Radharani. Because it's only by tasting that mood of Radha that he can repay his debt to her. He says, by doing this kirtan, then Tabijani Kripa Mori Korine Imati, then Radharani will give me her mercy. Paiva Tanhara Prema Kandiva Nayani. When I get that prema from Radharani, then I'll begin to cry and cry. And Dulaya Dusadahoya Nachiva Sankirtan. I'll do Sankirtan then with dust all over my body. So the Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not ordinary Sankirtan. My Guru Maharaj says it has a prefix to it. It's Premanam Sankirtan. Because it's Krishna chanting his own names in the mood of Radha. And this is the secret of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sannyāsa, what Srila Lochan Das Thakur calls it Adbhuta Vairagya, with the astonishing feelings of astonishing renunciation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not an external thing. And by doing this, Krishna then, he's repaid himself to the gopis. As he describes in the 32nd chapter of the 10th canto, Krishna told the gopis, Napariyeham niravadya samyajam sasadu krityam vibhujaya-sapi-vaya mabhajam durjaya geha shrinkalaya samvichayatava patayatu sadhana. Shivaram Maharaj has written a nice book called Napariyeham, glorifying this particular verse. My Guru Maharaj also liked this verse very much. A very, very important verse. He tells the gopis that I become your rini, I become in debt to you, because your love is spotless and you don't want anything. So I don't know how to repay my debt to you. Krishna's promise in the Gita, 4:11, he says, Yeyatam mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyam mamavartmanuvartante manusya sarvasa. That however someone surrenders me, I reward them accordingly. He said, but I don't know how to repay this debt. I've made this promise, but I can't keep it. Again, as we spoke in the beginning, this is the nature of ananyana bhavina, which is described in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, vyavasyatmika buddhi. You become one-pointed. This is the internal symptom of a devotee. A devotee is one-pointed. Ekeha kurunandana. Krishna tells Arjuna, they're one-pointed. All they think about is me. He says, bahusaka yanantascha buddhayo vyavisainam. That those persons who are not resolute in purpose, their intelligence, buddhayo vyavisainam, is bahusaka. It's multi-branched. So Krishna is bahusaka. He's maha bahusaka. He's unlimitedly multi-branch because he reciprocates with everyone in every rasa, in Madhurya Ras, in Vatsalya Priti, in Sakya Priti, in Dasya Priti. He reciprocates with the Christians and the Buddhists and the Muslims and even the atheists, who he appears as death personified. He reciprocates with everyone, but he can't understand this mood of Srimati Radharani because he's Bahusaka. In someone who's Bahusaka, they can't understand what it means to be one-pointed. So Krishna had to take the mood of a devotee. He had to come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he had to take sannyāsa, and he had to leave his mother, Sachimata. He had to leave his wife, Vishnu Priya. There's nothing wrong with their love, but he had to do that so that he could become one-pointed, ananyana bhavena. Because the Lord, he can't understand the feelings of a devotee unless he himself becomes a devotee. So this is something about the renunciation of a devotee and something about the amazing renunciation of the daughter of Maharaj Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radharani, and how that renunciation controls Krishna and forces Krishna to come as a devotee, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll go ahead and stop there. We're a little over time. It's 8:48. Does anybody have any reflections or comments or anything? Hare Krishna, Alex, nice to see you, Natalie. Earrings of chanting and hearing. Yes, very nice. Mamu Thakur Prabhu says, Dhanava pranams, thank you so much for this. I hope the quarantine continues so we can have this every day. Bhima Prasad Prabhu has written asking for something. Okay, I'll write you privately, Prabhuji. So if any devotees have any reflections or questions or comments or anything, you can go ahead. Post those right now. And please give us some reciprocation. It's strange, really, to sit in front of a computer and look at it and give a class and you don't know who you're speaking to. It's not proper Hari Katha. We should be speaking to our friends in an intimate relationship. So at least we're doing this. Then you please, devotees, please write in something. Let us know where you're hearing from. If you have any comments or questions or anything. So there's a couple of devotees in the room with us. Anupani, do you have anything?
Yeah.
Can you shout?
Yeah, I mark the point that renunciation is a byproduct of love. So as you thought about gopis, it wasn't a conscious decision to take renunciation on themselves like this. And also that this description of Srimati Radhika's renunciation from Nityananda Das books, it's really amazing that loving renunciation of Srimati Radhika forced the Lord to come in the form of Mahaprabhu, to taste her mood, to repay this debt to her.
Yes, an amazing thing. Renunciation is a natural byproduct of love. And it's seen even in the material world. If a boy goes to a girl and says, I love you, and here's some nice flowers and chocolates. And then that girl finds out that he did the same thing with 4 other girls. The same day he also told them, I love you, gave them flowers and chocolates. Then the girl will feel some hurt in her heart. She'll feel some anger because love indicates renunciation, naturally. Okay, anything else, Krishna? Madhupati Prabhu he says that temple sadhana is impossible, so your class is my only aspiration to get up early.
I love this point that hearing and chanting about Krishna's qualities and pastimes are the earrings of Srimati Radharani. I really love this. Actually, for me, it was the same point as for time that renunciation is a byproduct. But I was also thinking about Srila Prabhupada's glory in bringing this understanding that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has such an inner mood, and we are trying to have us understand God's feelings and God's mood when other religions, like some of the followers of some of the other religions in the world, they don't even think about the fact that God is also a person and he has inner moods and inner feelings, and especially this one-pointed feeling. But you can see that this one-pointedness is there in every living entity, because otherwise there will be no fanaticism and sectarianism in the world. But with this one-pointedness just reaches its perfection in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srimati Radharani and the devotees. And I was just thinking about the glory of Srila Prabhupada in giving this to us.
Yeah, that one-pointedness, when you were saying there was make a new thing too, that one-pointedness is required for success in anything.
Yeah.
It's required for success in romance, it's required for success in business. If you just think, well, maybe I won't go to work today, I won't go to work this week, I'll just stay. How are you going to have success? If you're a student, you have to be so completely one-pointed. If you just say, I'm going to go to the movies today, I'm going to have a good time, this and that. How are you going to accomplish your purpose? And so this is also very, very much required in bhakti. So,
a short comment on this. When Guru Maharaj recently was speaking, he told something that he was wondering why people are so attracted to success of others in any sphere. And he came to the conclusion that it's to get success in something, you need to give up other things. It's really difficult. And the people that are attracted by this, it doesn't matter if it's sport or it's music or something, they're just attracted because this person, he was able to overcome this different thing, but I'm not. And that's why I'm kind of worshiping him, or I'm inspired by him, just because he could do this, but I'm not able to overcome this mundane things and give up some bad behaviors and things that he could do.
But also because from that one-pointedness comes the greatest absorption, and from absorption comes the greatest happiness.
Yeah.
And in bhakti also, but in every other activity, if you are completely absorbed, then you feel happy.
Yeah.
You can
And
see
that's
also
the
how
origin of
people
the-
in this world, they actually appreciate, sometimes people say, oh, renunciation is too weird. But actually, everybody does appreciate renunciation. I think of Garuda Prabhupada just like has 3 master's degrees and 1 PhD. That's a tremendous, he renounced decades of his life to get those degrees, and people give respect to that because of that renunciation. And you're saying it, they admit, oh, I wish I could be like that too. But look, if you want to be like that, you're also going to have to give up so many years of your life and become really pointed. Pointedness gives us everything. So we'll stop there. Indian time tonight, between 5:30 and 6:30, we're going to speak something about the 4th verse of Shikshashtakam in connection with Ruchi. So if anybody wants to tune in then, and otherwise we'll be here again tomorrow morning for Indian time for continuing the Bhagavatam discussion. If anybody wants to subscribe to this, you can do that and click somewhere for that. But in any case, dear devotees, please write in, let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching from, and if you have any comments or questions or anything. Thank you very much. Grantarashina Bhagavatam ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Vanchakalpataривascha, Kripa